All right, guys. Hope y'all are doing all right today. Well, we've got a viewer in the room and a like. So, who is the viewer and who is the like? And by the way, um, not 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 too much, going on here. I mean, uh, LJP or yeah, LJPC. This is kind of one of the ones on the scanners that I'm actually, believe it or not, actually considering going long on. It's a pharmaceutical company, obviously, and they they provided Giapreza, whatever that means, in Italy for compassionate use in patients with septic shock associated with COVID-19. Okay, so this pharmaceutical company, it's got about an 11% short float. It's about a 25 million share float stock. So I think it has potential. The only thing that I'm concerned about, obviously, is it typically does not. I mean, if you look in the past, it typically does not make moves like this, unless it's on extremely high volume, right? And this is gapped up on extremely light volume. So, as a short bias trader, I think this would have the opportunity to end up actually getting crushed to the downside. At least, I don't know, at least to some degree. I'm looking for it to basically come up here, test these levels, and reject. And and if it does, then I may go short on it. But seriously, I mean, this is what's up? What's up, Work Diver? Hope you're doing all right, man. Good to see you in the chat. I've seen you in the comments before. I recognize that name, but good to see you in the chat this morning. But yeah, anytime I see stocks gapped up on light volume, and especially like this is the biggest candle here, basically. This is the biggest candle. It's even a little bigger than this one. But look at the volume. Look at all these other candles that kind of look like this. Look at the volume. There's substantial amount of volume on there, and this is just, so again, anytime I see something gapped up on light volume, the other thing is we're hitting resistance. This is resistance here. It's almost kind of in line with this area here. You've got all these major moving averages above it. Let's see where the 20 and the 9 EMA is. Yeah, it's butting right up against the 9 EMA on the daily. This is a daily chart. And it's basically tapped right up here at 550, and it's just not going past it. Now can it come up and fill the gap? Yeah, sure. It could fill the gap. It could fill the gap. But I don't know. Right now I'm not too confident on this, and I think there is a chance for there to be a little bit of a sell-off today. So I could be wrong, but OPK is the other one that I think this actually could be a good potential long. You'll see I've got 44 shares short, right? 44 shares short. But it's because it failed to fill me the full 500 at this price. And this was when it was kind of over here and I saw it rolling over, and I was just trying to get in for a quick scalp. And as you can see, this went down to 197, so I wouldn't have made quite $50 on that, but I was just trying to get a fill on 500. And really what I was going to look for is for a failure down to these levels, and maybe even a retest to add in, and then further move down. But it is above the 200-day moving average, and it's showing strength. But yeah, it only filled me 44 shares, unfortunately. I could only get filled 44 shares on that. So that was kind of disturbing. But I'm looking at a couple of the cruise ship stocks here. We've got Carnival Corporation, and I'm just going to watch this today. I don't know that I'm going to be quick to move in any one direction on it. Now, if the S&P 500 proves to show strength, I think this will be a good longing opportunity. But as it stands right now, and this is the one thing that I'm looking at, is that it has come up here and rejected multiple times, and now it's failing. And so if the market opens and the S&P 500 starts dumping, and mind you, this is kind of where we're at on the S&P 500, and I've got these levels marked out. It's made a pretty solid recovery. It could come back down though, dump just to test these levels, these other levels down here. That could happen. That could be a thing. And I think if that's a thing, so to speak, seeing that this is rejected so many times, I may be willing to take a short position on this stock. So, and I don't know how far down we could go. It's very possible that we would just kind of come and test these levels here. But I guess as long as the SPY continues to pull, I mean, anything's possible with this. So I would probably take, I don't know, 200 or 300 shares to start. If there was a real hard pull on the SPY, I might even jump in with 400, or I might jump in with 200, give it some chance for pullback, add to my position, and then see where it goes from there. But again, a lot of this is contingent on what happens with the SPY this morning. This one is another one, RCL. It's not as appealing. It's a higher price stock. I don't know if I would feel good going in with the same amount of shares, but it's not really forming the best setup. This to me is a better setup. This to me is a little more telling. Okay, and right now we just may be, obviously touched down here, and we just may be in the middle of a pre-market short squeeze. And actually, the more that I think about this, so let me look at the S&P 500 right now. See where if that's sitting at resistance. So I need to mark some levels out here. This is very spready. We've got almost a 15-cent spread. But I'll tell you what, if the S&P 500 man, I hate these wicks, these misprints. They always kind of mess with you a little. So this is a misprint. I'm not going to count that. I'm going to count this. I'm going to count this. I'm going to count this because I believe that was the previous day open, 266.66. Oh, this is showing 265. So anyway, so 265, 266.66. There it is. And then we'll put a red dash here if it can get above that. And then this seems like a pretty significant level for the SPY. 270.76 seems like the stronger level there. So I'll put that there as a red ceiling. No, actually I'll put that there as a green ceiling, so that if we can break that, we may turn into a bullish sentiment. Break and hold above, mind you. We would need to break and hold above, and this could turn into a bullish sentiment. So guys, I mean, I'll tell you what, I am tempted to go ahead and get in. I mean, this would be fine for me because this really looks like it's about to roll over. So I would probably set a stop at 1876, 1881, 1888. I may be good to go ahead and get in with a test for that because, again, you know, weak volume, light volume. closer I can get to these levels, the better. This is actually looking good. And I might be willing to... So now I would just have to wait for the break of 88. Okay. So I'm going to take that there, guys, and I may have to get out. Obviously, if it breaks 88, I may have to go ahead and get out. But if we continue to see resistance in these areas, then obviously, obviously we will have a good opportunity to drop down to these levels, to test these levels here. Now another thing, let me see, let me mark out some other levels just in case, because yeah, I'll probably want to get out. I'll probably just have to take the L if it comes over 88, but I'm just starting with 200 shares. What I would like to see is a massive breakdown. I'd love to see the SPY come out just showing weakness, and we get a quick, flush down to these levels here. I could even add as we go. So we'll see. By the way, those of you guys who are coming in, I got a 44 share fill back in this area on OPK. I was trying to take a bigger share size. I was trying to take 500 shares so that we could roll over and test these levels. It was only going to be probably a $50, $60, $70 trade if it had worked out and come down to test these levels here. But anyway, I'm obviously going to have to get those 44 shares off the table. SPY looks like it wants to push, but still meeting a little resistance. So I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and clear those out. I don't really care to, let's see. There is a higher share float on short float interest. Sorry. Okay, so we got out the 400 there. And then let's see the break of 88. Where did I get in? 68. Yeah. So if we break 90, I'll probably want to get out. If I see a lot of buying on 88, then I'll get out. So what's up, Sagar? Hope you're doing all right. You're watching OPK at the bell, and we'll see if it dips and holds too. Yeah, that's a good call. That's actually a good call. That's if it holds too, I may also be highly consider going long there. I would like to see again a failed move here on CCL though. I think there's great potential for that. And for those of you who are just now coming in, I will go back over LJPC with you. LJPC again is a stock that has gapped up majorly, but on very light volume, which again, reflecting in past history, you see candles of this size over here, but look at the volume on these. Look at the volume. Now, obviously, that's all day volume. This one's just getting started, but I don't really, well, besides back here, this ran hard on these 2 days here, but besides this, I mean, there's been a couple brief runs, but guys, I just don't know. And I'm going to be careful with it because, again, this is very light volume. This has more of a chance in my mind of dropping down at least to the 478 levels, maybe the 445 levels. This has much more opportunity of coming down to these levels, at least for a retest before pushing up. But I don't know. I'm going to be watchful, and I'm going to be careful. So as you can see here, CCL is working out pretty well already out the gate. I really do want to look for a test down to these levels down here, guys, and I will consider adding to my position. So those of you that came in here earlier when I took the trade, yeah, one more day in this crazy market flip. You're right, man. Good morning. Good to see you in the chat. Good to see you in the chat. I've just seen continual resistance up here. And I am somewhat, I'll say this, I am somewhat banking on, and I should probably take some shares off here actually. Let's see, we'll take them off at 20. Well, okay. Let's see if we can get a hit on 68 real quick. Or 28. That'll be $40 on the first. Now it's coming back. I may want to try for 24. See if we can get another tab down. It's rejected multiple times. And I think that if the SPY weakens out the gate and makes a move down, I think CCL will go with it. I mean, for sure. I think it definitely has an opportunity. There's still a lot of selling, but I'm going to go ahead and come out 100 shares on that one. If it'll take it. I'm looking for a break back down to 24 real quick. If we can get a quick pop back down, that'd be great. I just need it to tap right here. It's pretty good, pretty swift buy up. SPY looks like it's testing a little. Looks like it's also hit resistance. If you look here on the 1 minute chart, you know what? I may give this room down to, what's the break here? Because it doesn't look like it's got a huge chance of coming down, but do 18, 16. I may actually just take 50 shares there. Actually, you know what? I think that's the compromise. 18, 24, 50 shares. And then maybe 18, maybe 18, I would take another 50. We'll see. This could totally snap back, but the SPY, I was going to pull the SPY chart out. I'll pull that out here in a sec. It's having a hard time busting through 25. Oh, come on. But here. So the SPY, man, I hate these prints, these misprints. If you look at it, it's teetered around these levels a lot. So, which could be why CCL has as well. Ah, come on. I'm going to hold, guys, because again, like this really has to demonstrate a lot of strength. This really has to demonstrate a lot of strength. And now I'm thinking that if it breaks down through here, now I'm thinking about just pulling my order back even more from 24, because I think this is either going to go shoot back up and I'm going to have to get out. But since I'm holding these 200 shares, I think I'm going to let that first 50 go down to 8.16. That'll be the compromise, and then we'll let the other 150 run as far as they can. Maybe take another 50 off here at 17.92. But this might actually be, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, This may be a good place to add. I could add here. I'd have to get out sooner. The only thing I hate about this though is, it's pre-market, and the bell rings, and we all know everything goes crazy, right? Everything goes crazy when the bell rings. So now look, it's tapping my order, but it's not taking my order. So move it down whenever it does that. So I'll take 50 at the break of 10. Anytime it taps your order and doesn't crack, but it looks like it's still going to come down, you wait. It's sometimes good to wait for that retest, because this was a critical level breaking through 17. So we know if it's tapping on this door and then it breaks through it, it has a greater probability. There's a greater probability of it going down. Of course, now the SPY is being bought up, so this is being bought up. We got a rejection there. This is this is part of the process though, guys. You got to be patient. You got to be patient. You got to be willing to, somewhat, I guess, change your mind in the trade, as long as it's still favorable for you. But it was like we were talking about the other day. I mean, when the story changes, you've got to know when to change. So, SPY's pushing right now in pre-market. Might be giving Carnival a little extra boost of strength here. So it might be wise for me to go ahead and just remove 100 shares. And oops. And if it continues resolving to the downside, then I'll consider adding into the position. But we've got 45 seconds to the bell, so I want to go ahead and unload some of those, and I'm going to go ahead and set a stop order at 18. For the last 100 shares at 1888. I'll even give it to 1880. Stop. Buy. LJPC again. This might be good for a short. Going to be careful with it though. OPK, kind of like Sauger said, if it's holding 2, might be good for a. Okay, SPY looks like it's wanting to pull. May add to my position. LJPC is making a run up. It's tapping up against here. It's failing. Yep. So just want to see what happens with this. Again, we gapped up on very light volume. Okay, did not take my order. I missed the order on that, guys. See if CCL is going to give us enough room. Okay, it looks like it's pulling back a little, but let's see. See if we can get that continued rejection. SPY's doing all right. So we're going to come out another, oops, what did I just do? Let's see, sorry. Let's see. There we go. We're going to go in again. We got 418.24 average. We want to see a clean break. There we go. There we go. I'll take a quarter off there. See if we can get a continued move to the downside. There we go. I'll take another quarter off. We're at 1804 average. See where these other 225 can go. Take off half there. Let's see where these other shares can run to. There we go. 1801. So we might get a test here. There we go. Much nicer move than I had anticipated on that. OPK has failed $2. LJPC has hold on, guys. See if we can get another move down. Okay, we got a 213 share average at 1772. Okay, see continued momentum to the downside. There we go. Okay, go ahead and remove half there. We got 1744 average. There we go. See if we can break 17. If it comes back, I'll get out and I'll just look to re-add or to retake position. SPY's pulling, gonna get in. We got a 1727 average. Okay, got out half there. See if we can get in at the break of 17. SPY's pulling. 1705 average. Come out half. Look to re-add. Look to re-add. 352 average at 1701. See if we can get the breakdown. Oh, but this isn't a strong break, but let's give it a second. There we go. There we go. See if we can get into the halt. Okay, I'm going to take half there. And I will take these 176 into the halt if it can get into the halt. Can we get into the halt? There we go. Okay. So we are in a halt on CCL. Okay. So good day back, guys. Kind of needed this today. Just yesterday was a rough day, as many of you know, for me, but I needed to find something like this. LJPC would have been another good one. Obviously, I missed the ad. I'm sure you guys saw me put the order out for 400 shares. So it is ramping down right now. I don't want to chase it. I think I'm going to allow for some kind of a pullback. I think we can get a pullback on this. I think this is one of those that we could see a potential pullback to VWAP, even maybe a VWAP breakthrough, and then another rejection. Again, for those of you who weren't here, I was commenting on how LJPC just did not match up. You know, the volume was very light, gap up on very, very light volume, and you got to be careful with that. it was also meeting levels of resistance I had discussed even earlier on. So some of you might have heard me talk about the volume bars and all that, but even earlier on in the live stream, you can go back and check. I was talking about how we've got resistance here. It's also a previous area over here, and if you look back in history, it's even kind of meeting at a place here and here during all those moments of consolidation. So I missed it, but I tried. You know, this probably would have been another, I don't know, 100, 150 bucks maybe, just depending on how long I held on, and if I looked for areas to re-add. It might have even been a couple hundred extra bucks. But anyway, the SPY is trying to come back up. What I'm watching for right now on the S&P 500 is the hourly trend, because the hourly trend is going to tell us everything about the general direction for the day. Now, I hate these wicks. These are misprints. These are just flash orders on, from through the order book or whatever, and they don't mean anything, but they do kind of mess up your perspective on the trade. So let me go to S&P 500 on TradingView. See what we can find here. Okay, so let me look at the hourly. Okay. So this is what the S&P 500 looks like right now. Okay? This is what it looks like right now. And so far, you know, we've gapped up, but we're going to want to see if we bounce off of these previous hourly lows from yesterday. And this is without post-market and pre-market data, by the way. So we're going to see, we're either going to retest on many of these levels here, or, we're just going to continue pushing and we'll break this. And if we break this, I think we'll have an overall bullish sentiment, at least for the day. I am not bullish on the SPY yet. I think there's got to be, there might be a little more room to drop. And I mean, there might be a lot more room to drop, but there may be, at the very least, we'll say a little more room to drop. And in that scenario, regardless of that. Hold on one second. I'm doing two things at once. Regardless of that, I think it's going to have to bottom out in the bear market territory for a while before it comes up. I don't see a V-shaped recovery coming for the S&P 500. I think this is going to be more of a rounded bottom recovery when it does recover, and who knows how much lower we'll go. But we're continuing to drop. We've got CCL here sitting here on a halt with 176 shares. It does seem like we could drop significantly more, maybe even to test these levels coming out of the halt. I don't know. But what I do know is I will continue to piece out of the shares, maybe a quarter position, maybe a half position at a time, depending on how much I'm racking up on the P&L. But I think for sure I'll just, I'm definitely going to piece out. And if it comes back against me in any way, shape, or form, I'll get out. We're already up on the day. There's no reason to kill that. So, okay, here we go. Let's see if we get a pullback. I want to see a continued drop. The S&P 500 is continuing to drop. So that's very telling of where this could go. There we go. Getting a continued drop. And if we can break 1650, I think that'll be pretty big, actually. May even be willing to add. Let me just see. Okay, we're racking up on the ask right now, so I'm going to go ahead and take half. And we broke through 50, even though we were racking up on the ask. So that's interesting. S&P 500 is still dropping some pretty devastating levels. See if we can continue this move. I'll add. Well, missed the ad. Let me pull back. Pull out of that. 16 is getting tested now. Oh, man. Okay, so I'm going to take another 44 shares off the table. And let's see how much further down this is going to go. As long as the SPY is dropping, I don't see any reason to come off. Might even add. Wow, guys, this is okay. SPY's at some point the SPY is going to pull back. I don't want to add when that happens, obviously. We're getting it looks like we're establishing a little bit of support here, but let's just see. There we go. We're going to continue to get a dump here. Yeah. Slowing down, that's for sure. Slowing down. I'm going to add again. We got a 1577 average, so if this starts backing back up, I'm going to immediately get out everything. Really want to see it flush through the 1550 levels. I mean, there's a lot of selling, but this could snap back. SPY snapping back. Okay, we got 244 average. Let's see if we can break it. Okay, I'm out. Snap back. So, all right, we're up 424 on the day so far. The SPY is, let's see, I should have marked out the bottom levels. I did not mark out the bottom levels. Let's go on a 1 minute chart. Let me just see what's happening here. Okay, we're gonna give that time to work for a minute. Oh, there was a nice little pullback here. It didn't get quite all the way up to VWAP, but I probably could have started averaging in here. That's okay. Okay, significant pullback, and good. We need this pullback. But I am watching the SPY. I'm going to look for the SPY to hit areas of get rejection off the VWAP, and then I'll see if there might be some areas to add and to get back in on this trade. I don't see us pulling all the way back up. SPY is still somewhat struggling. It's losing buy volume. So I do think it's possible. I will wait to see if it can break the previous candle. That would be significant. Let's just see what this is doing here. CCL. SPY broke previous candle. SPY approaching VWAP. I would like to look to add at some point, like I said, but I want to give this room to breathe. So at this point, on 100 shares, I would be probably risking about $30 at the break of VWAP. Okay, good move down on that, on those 100 shares. SPY's pulling back, so I may go ahead and just take half off here. Okay, reducing it to 50 shares, and let's see what kind of a move we can get on those last 50 shares. Just taking really safe, small, conservative share size at this point, guys. We're already up on the day. I would like to hit the $500 mark if possible, but you know, it's not It's not a necessity at this point. I don't want to get too focused on the amount, but we do have an average all the way up at 1653. So right now, if we come back to test these lows, and as long as the SPY continues pushing, I will add at the break of 1550, and we will look for a continuation down to probably down to these levels here, probably right down to the $15 mark. So I am going to look for another place to add, but I'm also watching the S&P 500, and I want to make sure that the S&P 500 isn't making any kind of drastic recovery. And right now it's pushing. It's pushing. So it could pull Carnival up with it. But Carnival, there seems to be a little bit of a divergence there. So hope you guys are doing all right. Thank you all for joining me today. I hope your trading is going well, and please take time to like and comment. Let me know who's here that I haven't spoken with before, or let me know if I've got some friends here from like one of the regulars. We'll say one of the regulars. I see Sauger. I see Flip. Work Diver came in today, commented for the first time in the chat. I've seen Work Diver comment on videos, but have not seen Work Diver in the chat. So welcome, Work Diver. Thank you for being here. I am somewhat looking for a re-add. I need to make sure that the SPY pulls back. Because if we can get back below these levels, I think as long as SPY is pulling, we should be good. OPK has recovered the $2 mark, by the way. So looks like we are going let's see. SPY's remaining weak. Weak, but whippy. It's coming back a little. So I'll have to get out if this comes up to 1650. And really, well, I gotta say, if it comes up to 1650, there's a caveat to that. It's. I mean, here's the thing. I can take a little bit of a loss on this. I can let the shares run a little bit. If the SPY remains weak, then it can come up to 1650, and I'll be fine. I might even add. But I'm really watching the SPY. I've got SPY up in another window right now, and I'm really watching it on the 1 minute to see for it to start pulling back to the downside. I don't know what kind of a trend it's forming right now, but the last two 1 minute buy volume candles have been fairly significant. So looks like we're getting weakness. So let me see here. Yeah, I think I'm going to add. So 1626 is the average. And we want to see a really, really quick breakdown here. Really quick breakdown. Okay. Might test it. Let's see, is it testing it? Are we going to break? SPY's pulling. SPY's pulling. If we see too much buying, I will take half the shares off. SPY's pulling, or SPY's starting to push a little, but I think it's still weak. I'm going to try to hold on to this 150 shares as long as I can. There we go. Okay, there's a lot of buying, so I'm going to come out half. We've got 613 average, 75 shares. I can always add back in. We're looking for SPY to break down a key level of approximately 256.88. I think if it can do that, I think it will take the rest of the market with it. At least the stock I'm trading on. But if we hold support here, then I will have to get out. So, okay, Carnival's coming down. Going to look for a retest at 1550. And I will consider adding to the position down in the 1550s. We've got 75 shares right now with a 1613 average. SPY's pulling. CCL, I might go ahead and actually add. With as hard as the SPY's pulling, I would feel good about adding here. So, missed the add. Okay, I'm going to try again in the 1550s. There we go. We've got a 1579 average of 175 shares. Really want to see this crush through 15 and test $15, the $15 level. So looks like we're going to get it. Okay, there's the break. And let's see if we can get this down significantly. 1536. See if we can get a continued pull to the downside. Again, we're looking for a test of $15. I'm going to hold on to this as long as possible. Continuing to lose traction. We're headed to the downside, guys. This is going pretty well here. So SPY is still pulling. Snap back. I'm going to come out half my shares. We're sitting at 533 on the day, and if this comes over 1550, I will consider getting out. If it does not, I will consider adding at the break of 1520. Guys, we're not going in super huge size here. This is just conservative share size. I'm going to add. We got 188 at a 1536 average. I will come out half the shares if there's any kind of significant pullback. I do want to see a test of, okay, I'm coming out half. We're up 557. I want to see a break of 20. SPY's continuing to pull. But we are starting to meet resistance. Well, we are starting to meet, I guess support. There's great possibility of support coming through. We've only got 94 shares. If we can get a break of 15, well, it just depends if this SPY keeps pulling. So SPY is continuing to pull, but it's nearing some levels on the daily. Let's see. Big orders on the ask. Are we going to get a pullback? I'll tell you what, bull miners are getting crushed right now. Yes, the SPY volume is decreasing. There's going to be a snapback, Sauger, at some point, and this might be it. This might be it. So I may get out and just look for a re-add. But you're right, volume's decreasing. It could ramp back up, but we want to be ready in case it doesn't. Okay, so I'm out. All of my position, we've got 566 on the day so far, and I am going to look for a place to re-add. So far, though, we do, again, we always want to zoom out to the bigger picture here. So looking at the S&P 500 right now, as a matter of fact, I'm just going to put this chart up. Well, here's the thing. If we continue a downtrend on the hourly, that's going to be our friend. You're right. 5-minute volume's kind of falling off a little bit, but right now, even on the 5-minute, I mean, we've got to look for retests. We've got to look for retests, because here's the thing: if all this sell volume is replaced with this tiny little candle here, now obviously we've got 3.5 minutes left in this 5-minute period. This buy volume could increase significantly, but if it doesn't increase much, it only comes up to like here, that's not going to be a very nice case for the bulls. The bulls have really got to come in with some kind of effort this morning to turn this around. But I will show you this. This is what I was looking at on the daily chart. On the daily chart, I've got these two key critical levels marked out. Let's see, where was it? 152.62. Well, the first one's 254.44, and then 252.62. So it's possible that we do make it down at least to these levels before finding a very significant bounce. But you know what? After that squeeze yesterday on SPY, when the Fed decided they were going to inject 1.5 million into the markets, I mean, anything's possible in my mind. But it looks like right now, this right here, CCL could just be rolling over. I think I'm going to go ahead and go short again on it. SPY's continuing to remain weak. So, you know, and I'll take a little risk on this. I'm not going to break. I'm not going to let it break under 500, but I will take some risk on it. You know, like I said, SPY's continuing to pull. May go ahead and get back in here. Let's see if it tests 50 a couple times. Okay, I'm going to get in. We got 200 at a 1532 average. So, although SPY is kind of, it's acting a little whippy. We got a 1532 average. Okay, SPY's pulling up. So now we got 100 shares at 1540 average. I went ahead and came out half just in case. Let me pull the 2 minute back up on the SPY. Here we go. The 1 minute. Let's just see what we can get here. If we can get a 9 EMA rejection on CCL, I will consider adding once again at the break of 15. Again, the caveat is SPY has got to remain in some kind of bearish state, and it's not. So I'm coming out. Looks like we're getting a retest pump to the upside on the SPY, so I'm going to go ahead and take profits there and get another wait for an opportunity to come in. This is really you know, we're having to trade a little quicker right now. We're having to think a little faster. You know, we're dancing on our toes a lot here, and just really trying to make split-second decisions based on price action. But so far, we're about 30 minutes into the morning, and I feel pretty good about the profits on the day. I'm even considering looking at some of these stocks here. OPK continues to get a rejection. It's easy to short. You could take a quick 500 shares. I mean, the most I'd be risking... no, that kind of looks like a chop fest. LJPC, it's already made its move. I can't really do anything about that anymore. CCL, I'm going to continue to watch. RCL is basically doing the same thing. Let me see if there's any divergence in the charts here. Slightly. Not much. RCL is a little more spready. It can move quicker. Okay, SPY is starting to get weakness again. So I'm going to go ahead and take another position here. I'm going to let it come up. I'm going to take another position here. We got in another 100 shares at 1548. So SPY is pulling. I want to see SPY come back down and break those lows. Otherwise, I'm going to have to quickly exit this position. So again, I'm not willing to risk too much on the day. Okay, let's see. 1548. SPY is pulling. SPY is showing continued weakness, and it's starting to whip back. So I'm coming out, and it's whipping back through. Okay. So just $2 on that trade. I paid for that trade, basically. Paid for that trade. And we are up almost 600 on the day, guys. I feel really good about this. I needed a day like this, and this is kind of one of those moments where you think to yourself, you know, because here's the thing: I ended roughly roughly break even on Wednesday. Monday was a good day, made 500 and some dollars. Tuesday came in here and made 400 and some dollars. Wednesday ended up being basically a break even day. I mean, I lost maybe $100 on fees and commissions or whatever. But then, yesterday at one point I had dug myself out of the red. I was a little in the green, like barely, like we're talking 50, 60, $70. And so I could have ended yesterday. Yesterday, had I ended out, I would have probably ended about break even after fees and commissions, but I stuck around. I stuck around yesterday and took a heavy loss. So this is that moment where you start thinking to yourself, man, if I had just followed my rules, because here's the thing, one of my rules is if I'm struggling, if I'm in the red and I'm able to dig myself back to black, go ahead and get out. Now, yesterday it's hard not to play the would have, should have, could have game, because really yesterday I got underwater out, basically based on an anomaly occurrence. I had no clue that the Fed was going to just inject $1.5 trillion into the market. And so there's this massive squeeze up on the SPY, which caused the TVIX to drop just massively and completely irrationally. And so, stuff like that just happens from time to time. So I'm trying not to play the would have, should have, could have game with myself, because yesterday, really, had that not happened, not only would I have ended in the green, but I probably would have made a couple $100 yesterday. But I do have a rule that I like to try to live by, and that is if you get out of the red, if you're deep in the red and you dig yourself out, just stay out and get out and just come back tomorrow. At least you can say, hey, I had a break-even day, didn't really lose anything. I know my accuracy is pretty on point. I know my win rate is pretty on point. Most days I'm able to come in here and roughly get, $4, $5, $6, sometimes even $700, $800. So there's no need for me to take too many risks. And that's part of being a good trader. We have to know when to just stop the risk factor. That is the one point that I kind of call myself out on yesterday. And so here today, I'm sitting here thinking, yeah, this is a great day. One more day like this, and obviously I'll be out of the water, which really technically this week I'm not underwater this week. If I stop now, or if I lose a little bit of money and end down in the 400s or whatever, I'll still technically be up on the week. But it's just one of those things where it's like, man, if only. But you can't play the what if game with yourself too much. I mean, it'll drive you crazy. It's driving me crazy just thinking about it. RCL's on a halt. CCL's on a halt. INO, I ought to just clear this dude straight off. See, here's what... Man, I promise you, I'm going to leave this alone. But here we're at that critical level again that I pointed out 2 days ago. We've basically tapped right up against it. And I saw this morning. I saw it this morning. Look at this. Let me zoom out here. Look at this level. This is a highly respected level all throughout here. Look at this. When it came back down from its massive run up, tapped here once, tapped twice, 3 times, finally broke through, then came up, tapped it a couple times here, tapped it a couple times here, and then finally broke up. And then it comes down and it taps those levels a few times yesterday. And then it finally breaks through it, and then it comes up. And this morning I saw it tapping up on that level in pre-market, and I said to myself, you know what? This would be the perfect time to short INO. It's tapping on that level. This has been a very, very, very highly respected level over the course of the last week. A highly respected level. Okay, this is not just something that's been tapped on a couple times. This level has been tapped from the upside and the downside literally probably 7, 8, 9, 10 times, if not more. Okay, and that's something that you got to think about. You can't ignore that. You can't ignore that. So this morning I'm coming in here and I'm looking at those levels and I'm saying, man, I should do it. I should do it. This is my time. This is my chance. And I thought about taking 400 shares. This is nothing I talked about on the live stream, so there's really no way to validate my idea here. But you guys do know from watching the previous videos that I've been watching this 850 level. I've mentioned this multiple times in multiple videos this week. So you at least know that. But I genuinely, I promise you guys, I am not even joking. I genuinely saw that level and was like, man, this could be it. But I stopped myself because INO has kicked my butt more times than I'd like to admit. And I thought to myself, if I take this now, I'm going to look like an idiot if it ends up breaking back out through it and running against me. I'm going to look like the biggest idiot ever. All the people that come and watch my channel are going to be like, okay, we can handle you making a couple rookie mistakes and even a couple more rookie mistakes with INO. But you know what, Matt? You need rehab. Like, you need to go into rehab. Like, this, you're not, now you are a rookie. Now you are a rookie. I don't want to give off that kind of a vibe. And, you know, I'm here to, I have to constantly remind myself. I mean, it's one thing if I'm trading by myself here on the home front, like I've been doing all these years, but I don't, for me to come in here and just, and do this before you guys, I have to constantly remind myself, you know what, Matt, like you're trading in front of other people. You're trying to teach a healthy strategy here. Don't be that guy. Just stay away from INO. Yeah, it's probably going to run without you, but the last thing you want to do is continue to demonstrate bad habits, poor trading habits. So I held myself off from doing it. Okay, but anyway. I think OPK can get the drop, by the way, but it's like a 400 million share float. So I want to be careful with that, by the way. Want to be careful with that.
GLB.
Okay, GLBS looks like it's making some moves. Okay. Broke through the 50 EMA. Says you can locate shorts. How much are they? Okay, you cannot locate shorts. What is up with GLBS? It's a 1.77 million share float. I mean, this could run. This could run. These shares could get traded enough. I mean, if it makes another run up to these levels, what's the story, GLBS? I would wait for a pullback before trading this, going long. Penny stock could go in pretty heavy with this. Could definitely go in pretty heavy with this. So even taking, you know, I mean, I probably wouldn't take more than a couple thousand shares, because for me, it would just be like, you know, where's this going to go? That would be my main concern. Where's this going to go from here? Does this have potential to ramp up and crush these levels up here? And I'd probably start with averaging in at like 500 shares. And I'd wait for a pullback to I would gradually add in 500 shares all the way back to this level, probably right here, 60, maybe 67. The reason I'm saying that is because of this. It's probably where it would end up hitting, 68. And then I'd have to get out if it broke and held below trend line, especially if it broke this. But I would wait for a pullback really to start taking my first 500 shares. And we might not get the pullback. This looks like it might be strong. It's not, I mean, it's not selling off yet anyway. So it's kind of something to think about. I'm kind of interested in seeing, let's see, GLBS. I'll just put it there. CCL's back up. Let's see what we got here. So we may be looking at trend line forming here. Of course, again, if SPY can show any kind of weakness, and it looks like it's being bought up right now. But I'll tell you what, if it butts up against that VWAP here, SPY butts up against the VWAP on the 15-minute and rejects it, and then right now it's rejecting the 9 EMA. So this might be a place to get in. I'm going to give it a little more time. Give it a little more time. See what it can do. And then may end up re-entering on CCL. Let me look at some other ones real quick. SPY looks like it's going to fail. It really does. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get in 100 shares just to start here. I'll risk a little. I'll see if SPY fails and this comes down and breaks trend line, then I'll consider re-adding down at 15. Otherwise, I mean, I'm gonna have to watch SPY very quickly, or very closely. And I also want to look at something. There's a penny stock out there that, okay, it's not really doing anything. OPK, let's look at that again. CCL. GLBS has had a pullback. I'm keeping a very close eye on SPY right now. Okay. I'm not going to mess with it. Oop, sorry. CCL. But I'll tell you what, SPY is having a hard time. It's having a hard time. It's actually looks like it's starting to come back up, so may have to get out. I'll give it a minute. I mean, as long as it doesn't break the 5-minute high or whatever, I don't see too much cause for concern. But Oh. Thanks, hotkeys. Okay. It's butting up against VWAP, though. It's just not breaking VWAP on the SPY. Same thing with CCL. But I don't know. I'll come out half just to reduce the potential for loss. But SPY's got to show some kind of promise here. I mean, it's showing a little bit of promise. Showing a little bit of promise. But I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'm going to give this a little more time. SPY's pushing. It's pushing. It's pushing up. CCL is on an uptrend here. SPY's breaking through VWAP and all major moving averages on the 5-minute, so that's good. Okay, all right. I'm going to come out just in case. I'm going to just let this play out for a minute. Let this play out for a minute. Let's see what the SPY does. So I'm also going to look at the, let's see. Let's check the 15-minute. Okay. Okay. So we've got levels to test here. We've got levels to test here. The bulls may get a little bit of control over this, so, and that would be good for the bulls. I mean, bulls need a little encouragement. All right, let's see. Sorry, guys, I haven't had the chat up. No chat this morning. Nobody's chatting. You guys still here? Or am I talking to myself? I don't mind talking to myself, by the way. I do it even when people aren't around, so. Okay, what's up, Sagar? Sagar's still with me. It's just you and me, brother. It's just you and me. How's your week gone overall? How's trading been for you? Hopefully you've had a better week than mine, or than I have. Good, Sagar. That's what's up, man. That's good. Now, this might be a little personal question, too personal of a question. So if it is, just let me know. Just say, hey, I don't. Let's see. Best month so far, one red day this month. That's great. That is great. That's awesome, man. Good job. Yeah. Again, this might be. If it's too personal, then don't feel like you have to answer me. I was wondering, just out of curiosity, what your typically what your daily goal is and what your max loss is. And if you'd rather not say give specific numbers, you could give me, percentage of account or whatever. Um, feel free to say whatever on that. But I'm curious and also, well, I had a couple other questions after that if you feel like answering, but. SPY's continuing to push, by the way. Daily goal is anywhere 50 to 100, but lately I've been hitting 200 average so far. Okay, that's really good. That is really good. Um, and you trade, if I'm not mistaken, you trade in light speed also, right? In fall, I will increase it to 400. Good, good. That's what's up, man. So, yeah, light speed. So, yeah, so the a couple thoughts I had is so. Do you feel like watching this channel and observing uh, a less risk conservative trading strategy, has that been something that you've implemented into your trading plan, and do you find it working well, or what have you taken from this channel? What forms of the conservative trading strategy have you taken, if you've taken anything? And I'm just curious. I'm just genuinely curious because for me it's kind of like, I don't know, man. I want to know. I want to know if this stuff is actually useful and valuable for some people, and I want to know if it's helping, like staying away from some of the bigger high dollar gurus out there that kind of make you feel inadequate for your $200 P&L. I wonder if like maybe coming to a channel like this is kind of like, you know what, this is cool. Like, yeah, we just come in here, we make a few $100, we get out. Like, this feels good. Does it help with your mentality? With your trades, or I don't know, man. I'm asking a lot of questions here, and I know you're typing, so you're probably sitting here wondering, like, okay, which question do you want me to answer? I guess just overall, have you found value? Has it helped you? And in what way, maybe? Has the channel helped, and in what way? And by the way, I think that's great. That's a great point you made about you're hitting for 50 to 100 a day, but you're able to get a $200 a day average. I think that's phenomenal. I really do. That's actually I put out a trading plan. You might have seen that video, the account building psychology video I put out during one of the episodes of The Trader's Mind this past or a couple weeks ago. Um, there was a point I was making that when you go in and you start trading just to make $50 a day, or if you have $100 a day, whatever the goal is, I made a strong point there. You're going to have some losing days, but there are going to be some days where you make 150, $200. And so that should well make up for those days if you keep the losses small, obviously. So, all right. So you said in general you've learned a lot from my channel. Okay, good. For example, you've been trading TVIX ever since you started watching me, but you trade momentum stocks. You like to be in and out. Okay, good, good. Yeah, and that's a great strategy too. Um, you like the community we have here. I do too, man. I think we have some really good cats that come through here. So far, we haven't really had any trolling, and I really like that. It's smaller. There's no trolling. There's people who also are really solid quality people. Like, I feel like we have quality people come through this chat. People who can genuinely add value to the community and have something to offer. So I agree with you there. And you like the fact that I answer your questions, the questions that you have. Okay, cool. Well, I'll tell you what, man, that's something I'm able to do now. I mean, and hopefully this channel does not blow up to the point to where there's just like tons of chat feed running through all the time. Hopefully we can stay small enough to where I can get, continue to do that. Continue to do that. But I guess that's one of the good parts about, guys like you and Flip and Notre Dame. You guys are kind of getting in on this early. So I think I think even if it does get busy in the future and it starts blowing up a lot, obviously I'll be able to pick y'all's comments out a lot easier because I'm used to seeing you here, and hopefully most of your questions would still get answered if that were to be the case. But I really do. I hope it stays small, man. I'm not looking to really monetize this channel or anything. I don't, I want a genuine, just smaller community of guys and women, men, whatever, who just want to take a reasonable approach to the markets and do well with it. So hopefully we're doing that. And then Sagar also said, biggest thing you've learned from me is patience. Okay. Well, that's a good thing, I guess, right? I'm not always the most patient person. Yesterday I got very impatient with some moments, and was probably another attribution to or contribution to my heavier loss. INO was the example. Like I did not have to have a $300 loss on INO yesterday. I did not have to trade it. I mean, that just had beginner trader written all over it. And I hate that. I hate that. I hate that that's more than even taking a $300 loss yesterday. Honestly, what I hate the most is that it does not truly represent what my strategy is and what I know to be good, disciplined trading ethics, So anyway, but I'm glad you've learned patience, and I'm glad I've been able to demonstrate that. It does take patience. It takes patience with smaller share size to jump in on a trade and gradually take profit along the way, and to let these stocks really move. And even when they move against you, but if you take that conservative share size, you can kind of tolerate a move against you a little bit more than you might otherwise be able to tolerate. So Flip says my week has been all over the place. Monday up 165, Tuesday up 309, Wednesday up 831, Thursday up 888, and then down 103 so far. Good Lord. Flip flop. Yeah, it seems like you've had a really good week. So you might want to just stop while you're ahead, man. I mean, if you've basically today has canceled out, probably after commissions and fees, might have canceled out Monday, the 165 on Monday. So this might be a good place for you to stop, man. Fridays can be slow. You got to be careful. They can slow down. Of course, we're in a different kind of market right now, so I don't know if it's really going to slow down. But you do want to be careful. But sometimes on Fridays, man, when it's like this, I'm just like, man, let me take the money and run. Let me just take the money and run. Next week is a whole nother week. But good job, Flip. Good job. Sagar says, also, you're always clear about your plan. So that helps beginner trader like me and tells me how I should be thinking. That's awesome, Flip Flop. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, man, I try to be clear about it. I really do. I know I'm not always perfect in that regard, but and even like with, I think Wednesday was a day where I just came in. I wasn't even interacting much in the chat. I didn't really talk much. I didn't clarify things as much then, but yeah, I strive to do that. And, I'm glad that I've been able to be clear enough about the plan to really help you out with, the ebbs and flows of beginner trading. Yoni B, I'm not sure how I pronounce that. Is it Yoni? Is it Yanni? I'll just say Yoni. Is it Yoni B? Yoni B? Yes or no? Yoni B? Hey Matt, I just found your channel today. Massive value I am getting already. Thank you very much. You're welcome. You're welcome. And welcome to the channel. I'm glad you have decided to join us. Yeah, okay, Yoni B. That's what's up. So yeah, I'm glad you decided to join us, and I'll just go ahead and give you a brief rundown of what we do here. Obviously the name of the channel is called Conservative Trades, and even though everybody's trading strategy does vary, even as Sauger was saying, he's got a little bit, he enjoys the momentum stocks. He wants to be in and out of trades. You can still do that with a conservative style of trading. But I will tell you that the greater sentiment of the strategy is, we don't get caught up in all the hype and all the big dollar signs, that we can often get caught up with, especially when watching our favorite day trading gurus out there. And there's many out there, and there are some really good ones out there too. And, but when you're watching a lot of the guys out there and they're reporting, $5,000-$10,000 days consistently, then when you actually get into trading and you are in the beginning phases of starting your day trading career, oftentimes we can get sucked into the hype of that, and we can think, man, this is going to be me. This is going to be me. And oftentimes that's not the case. And I think that day traders in general, just, sure, watch your favorite day trading gurus, learn from them because they are really good at what they do, and they have a lot to offer, and they have a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom and all that. But don't pay so much attention to their P&Ls. Watch them, learn from them, even take their courses. But when you come into trading, you need to come in with a very reasonable, rational mindset. You need to start small, start with small share size. And I'd pretty much come in here, and I'm trading on average with very, very small share size. I don't come in here with 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 share lots. Now, if it's a small stock, if it's like a $2 stock, I might go in with 1,000 shares or something like that, maybe even 2,000 shares. But, I'm not getting like 10, 15, 20,000 shares of that like a lot of other people do. I mean, so just in relation to the type of stock and the price and everything, I typically go very small share size. And, this allows the stock room to breathe. As you can see, even here on CCL, stocks move up and down. They move up and down. And so when you take position, you need to give it room to run against you a little bit and still maintain a level of comfort and a level of sanity so that you can continue to stay committed to the trade idea. So when you do that with smaller share size, it really does. It enables you to do that. And I generally consistently come in here making anywhere from, $400 to $700, $800 on any given day. In general, sometimes it's less, sometimes I lose. Yesterday was a pretty big loss. I lost over $800 yesterday, over 900 with commissions and everything. So sometimes it's like that. But sometimes I come in here and I make 800 plus. I've had 4-digit days. I've had, since I started the channel a few weeks ago, I have not produced any 4-digit days here, but there are the 12, 13, 14, $1,500 days even, and we're talking with smaller conservative share size. So it can be done, and it's a great way to build an account. It's a great discipline for beginner traders to bring into their trading careers. To develop that discipline, to just trade and prove yourself with smaller share size consistently. You can still do well. You can still, come in here every single day and make, $200, $300, $400, $500, whatever a day. And that's enough. That's enough. That's all you need to get started, because if you do that consistently, you can gradually start working up. You'll start stretching yourself as a trader. You'll start developing a greater risk tolerance. You'll start being able to take bigger shares, and then those $100, $200 days will soon turn into $300, $400 days, and then those will start turning into $500 to $800 days, like I'm often seeing right now, and then they'll eventually grow from there. And I'm looking to grow from there. I mean, I would like to eventually have consistently, 4-digit days, and I'm pacing myself. But I think I'm going to get there. And that's, hopefully you guys will be able to witness that. Hopefully we'll go on this journey together, and we'll all kind of, just increase our profitability over time. But anyway, so that's what this channel's about. Yoni B, appreciate you being here, and yeah. So anyway, Sauger says agreed. Agreed. Yeah. So in Sauger, perfect example. This is why I love having Sauger in here, because he's very transparent, and he seems like a pretty solid guy, pretty solid trader. He seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders, and he's doing the same thing, so he can tell you all about it. But yeah. Anyway, I've missed a couple moves here on CCL. There's been a couple good opportunities to jump in, but this is the 5-minute chart. This is kind of more of what we're looking like. I don't know if it's a bull flag, and it's going to be really hard for me to tell because I honestly don't know what the S&P 500 is about to do. Right now, it's obviously holding, and it's teetering around VWAP there. We have had a breakthrough, but it's a fake breakthrough because it's being bought up. So this could turn around and continue to go up. So I don't want to make any moves too quickly, but I'll tell you this, if I start to see weakness and if I start to see a breakdown and a close at the 5-minute under this trend line, I may start looking for a shorting opportunity again on CCL. If you can't already tell, Yoni B, I am a short biased trader. I am a short biased trader. So every stock is dumping to me. Every time I look at a stock, it looks like it's dumping. And that's a really bad habit. That's a really bad habit because I have to learn how to see the long positions. And I do go long sometimes. I shouldn't say that. I do go long sometimes. As a matter of fact, some of the best trades I've had in the last couple of weeks have been long bias trades. But by and large, like CCL, this was a shorting. I shorted this all day long, and I kept adding to my position as the stock got crushed all through here. As a matter of fact, I'll pull up okay, and hold on a second. Show executions. You can see. I started here. This is where I went into the short position. I saw it meeting resistance up here. It wasn't breaking, and the SPY was looking weak, and I was just hoping that it was going to roll over, and it did. And I took a little profit here. Then I added back in here, added back in more shares here, started taking profit off here, added in again. You can see this is just adding, taking profit, adding, taking profit all the way down here. I averaged in back again here. I think I had to get out. I averaged in, and then I averaged in again here, took profit, averaged in again here, took profit. So this has just been, I'm a short bias trader. I'm a short bias trader all day. Can't even lie. Can't even deny it. Yoni B says, I agree. I like the idea of letting trades breathe. Yeah, that's a huge part of the strategy. It really is. It's a huge, huge part of the strategy. This is why if we go back and show the executions here, and I'm missing trading opportunities all day, but it's okay. I'm up on the day. I might even just end it out here. I think it's worth it to provide a little education on this. This is a big pattern of mine. I look for stocks that run up. They run up. Now, we saw a little bit of it here, but this is all pre-market, very thinly traded. I wouldn't trust it as much here. I want to see a lot of action. You can tell the difference. This is kind of just spritzy, sporadic, whatever. There's actually action. There's action taking place here. And if you break it down to the 1 minute, you would even see a greater demonstration of that. But when it looks like it's forming this flat top, but it just can't get above very critical points of resistance, that's where I like to get in, because I feel like, this is where you see a lot of drops. This is where a conservative trading strategy works really well. You could take just a couple hundred shares up here, and you just let this stock move. Now, I got out here because we were getting close to the opening bell, right? And I did not I wanted to go ahead and at least take a little bit of profit. So I did take 100 shares off there. But just in case it did run against me and break up through this level, I had to set a break at 1888 pre-market highs. Well, it never got up there. It got up to 1877, ended up dumping. So I averaged back in. But this gave the stock room to breathe. I gave it room to breathe. Now, even here, you can see my first order was at, it's not letting me, was roughly 1868, I think it was. So I wouldn't have been able to let it go all the way up to 1688 if I had taken like, 2,000 shares. If I jumped in 2,000 shares, I'd be risking, first of all, as it started to come down, I probably would have taken profit a lot quicker because I'd be nervous. Like, what if this goes against me? You know? And if it jumped up to here to 1877, I might have went ahead and got out some of those shares, like half of those shares. But I wouldn't have wanted to risk $400 on 2,000 shares. But when you come in with just a few hundred shares, now again, listen, if you're a baller and you've got this huge day trading account or whatever, SPY's acting weak, by the way. I'm going to look for a pullback to go short here. If you're like a baller or something like that, then sure, maybe that's a low risk for you. But again, in appealing to beginner traders, and here's the thing. Here, truth be told, there are some beginner traders that come into the market with, a ton of money. Maybe they're wealthy. Maybe they have $100,000 that they can fund an account with. But still yet, we all kind of view money in a very similar regard. Okay, and typically the case is that wealthy people actually tend to be a little more conservative with their money. They tend to be a little more smart with money. And I'm not talking about people who win the lottery and become wealthy overnight. No, I'm talking people who have gradually earned their wealth. Okay, they have a tendency to put a very great value on money, and so you might think to yourself, well, if they have a $100,000 account, what does it matter? They can take a couple thousand shares. They can risk losing $400, $800, whatever. It's not going to matter to them. But yes, it does. If you're a beginner trader, nobody wants to lose money, man. Nobody wants to lose money. Nobody's coming in here to lose money. And especially people who have a very higher understanding of money and the value of money. So I would say even if you're wealthy and you're coming in here with $100,000, you still need to start with conservative share size. You still need to just come in here and take position in a stock in an area where you will feel comfortable riding that trade out. You need to feel comfortable. I think I'm going to start a position here at 100 shares short. Now, the stock, the S&P 500 has to remain weak. And as long as it does, and again, this is kind of one of those things, I'm gonna give it room to breathe. I'm gonna give it room to breathe. Now, it did have a trend line bounce, but the thing is the SPY has just broken through the previous 15-minute candle's low, and it is pulling back now, and so we might be seeing a little pullback here on CCL. But I think there's going to be, as long as the SPY continues to pull and show weakness, I think we can get a break of this trend line and a move down to these levels. And so it's going to be worth it to me to try to stay in this a little bit. And I will consider adding to my position if it does break the $16 mark. But it does depend. I mean, if the SPY starts showing strength, then I'm going to pull out. And it's very possible that the SPY actually comes down and tests this level right here of support, and then bounces back up to VWAP. We could get choppy action all day on the SPY. I'm half expecting that to happen. So the trade might not work out, but I feel pretty good about it, and I'm going to let it work. Like I said, if the SPY remains weak, I'll consider adding at the break another 100 shares at the break of 16. I do want to see it break that trend line. Let's see, what was the 1609? I'll catch it at the break of 1609. I'll catch it at the break of 1609. I've been yapping a lot here lately, so I'm just going to kind of close my pie hole for the minute. SPY showing a little bit of strength, so if SPY continues showing strength, I'll get out and I'll look for a different place to add. Again, we are butting up against this trend line on the 5 minutes, so it's a critical area. I need to see SPY show weakness, and I need to see follow through below that trend line on CCL. SPY needs to break this level. If SPY has a bad day and ends up pushing down pretty far, CCL could even break yesterday's lows. And that's kind of what I'm also thinking about while I'm in this trade. But SPY looks like it's trying to push back up. It may just be choppy action today. And if SPY pushes all the way back up to VWAP, then that's pretty much what I'm going to consider. And I'll just get out, whatever. We'll be done for the day. I really need to see follow through on the SPY right now, and I need to see a breakdown on CCL. There's a fight. There's a fight for sure. SPY's holding the line. Typically when it holds the line like this, it jumps up, but this may be the breakdown. Is this the breakdown? I'll tell you what, it really is. SPY is holding the line. SPY is doing a good job holding the line. There he goes. CCL has recovered. The 9 EMA. SPY looks like it wants to ramp up. Trying to be patient with it, guys. Let's see if we can be a little patient with it here. Okay, I'm going to come out half. I can always add back to it. Guys, buying or the sell off on SPY. I mean, SPY may be genuinely done with this with the chaotic sell off this week. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, we're getting a little downside momentum, but it's very slight. It's very slight. There's not much. Um, Let me look at the 2 minute. Let me look at the 5 minute. 15, 30. 30 has not broken lows yet. Hourly is topping tail doji so far. So anyway, question is, can we get that final solid breakdown on CCL? I would even add, well, I don't know that I'm going to add anything. This is a pretty critical trend line here. It's holding. It's definitely holding. Cannot deny that. It's holding. And even though the SPY is gradually making moves to the downside, it's holding. So that's something to think about. And it's remaining above the EMA. SPY's kind of making a doji on the 5 minute. So let's see. We want to see a break of all these levels, guys. 609, 611. 609 would be a pretty solid break. SPY's continuing to sell off on the 5 minute with consistent volume. All right, hold on, guys. Wifey's calling. I'll put this on mute real quick. All right, so I'm back, and as you can see, the SPY is dropping. The SPY is dropping heavily, but this stock here, CCL, is not really pulling with it. It's not pulling with it at all, and I need to figure out why. I mean, the next key level really is 253.21. But I don't like that. I don't like that. So I need to, I mean, if we don't get a severe breakdown, let's see, are we going to get this? See, this just keeps pulling back. Sells off, pulls back. Sells off, pulls back. Okay. I mean, I'm not going to let this go against me. I'll just get out with whatever. Okay. So that trade basically, I don't know, maybe didn't even pay for itself. That's annoying. That's annoying. We're getting a really good pull on the SPY, and we didn't get a good pull on that. Even had to come out with a little bit of loss on some shares. But again, we're basically back up to where we were for 46.99, whatever. I guess I'll wait for a pullback on the SPY. I'll wait for a pullback up to maybe VWAP or the trend line. Maybe start adding in here and then get some more here. I should have added in here, but I really didn't know what the SPY was going to do, so didn't want to do that prematurely. GLBS would have been a good trade, by the way. Look at this. You remember we were thinking about going in down here. And it ended up pushing. It's making moves. It's definitely making moves. You cannot deny it's making moves. And now obviously it's on a pullback, but there could be a pretty strong sentiment to test these levels today. I would get in, but I don't feel comfortable getting in right here. I would want to see a much bigger pullback. So I may miss the boat on that. Obviously missed the boat on that earlier, so. But we have broken trend line on both the S&P 500 and CCL. I think if the S&P 500 were to come back and test, so I'm going to get rid of that. Just so, and I'm going to get rid of this too. This is what we're looking at. Sometimes you got to clean up the charts. That's another part. Yoni B, if you're still in the chat, that's another part of the conservative trading strategy. Not using too many indicators. Just keeping it simple. So it looks as though, and we slow down the charts too. Short It All says, Matt, I've been watching since last week. This channel is amazing. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, Short It All. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, man. Or woman, whatever you are. I don't want to assume. Let's see. But yeah, no, it's good to see you, and I'm glad that you have found value in this channel. Appreciate you saying what's up. So, man, okay, all right, I'll try to remember that. All right, what's up, man? So a lot of times, this is something that I have to constantly remind myself of, but slowing down the charts. Somebody, I think, actually wrote a book called like Slowing Down the Trade or something like that. I never read it, but I heard about it, and it made sense. Like just the premise of the book made sense. And I don't know if this is exactly what's talked about in the book, but this was kind of the idea, at least that I got. So I don't know, maybe I pulled something a little different out of it than what was intended. But when you really slow down and look at longer time frames, you can really see a better story of what's being told. Because candles, price action, all of this stuff means more on longer time frame charts. So, so right now on the hourly, I mean, we're essentially looking at a gravestone doji on that last hourly bar. So now we also saw buyers push it up here, but I don't even know if I can trust these wicks because I think this is probably from some of the misprinting that occurred in pre-market. So I don't even know. Like you might, because you might look at this and say, yeah, but this like came down and buyers pushed it up. But you know, if you look here on TradingView, well, let's see. Let's see our chart. So yeah, TradingView basically shows that. TradingView shows that it was pushed up. And TradingView is not showing the gravestone doji, which is because it does not take pre-market action into consideration. So, but I would venture to say most day traders are looking at the whole picture. They're looking at the pre-market action and the post-market action and all that too. So, but the point being, you slow down the charts, even if it's just the 15-minute. You know, you want to see what's the greater story being told here. And so I'm trying to figure out where this is going to go next. So right now, it's telling a pretty good story on the 5-minute, but this could simply be VWAP rejection. So what I would do is I would confirm that with the 15-minute. You know, because we do know if it breaks the previous 15-minute candle high, that's a bullish scenario, even if it's short term. But if it breaks that plus breaks VWAP, any trade or position I took in opposition, I would want to get out. Okay? And then here on the 30-minute, you know, obviously you'd have to have a break through that, and then a confirmation over the previous 30-minute candle high, and then a close above VWAP too. So essentially what I'm saying is this. If I were to take position on CCL, and say I went in with 200 shares short. Now, it could move against me. It could come up. It could break through the averages. It could bounce off the trend line. If this S&P 500 seems like it's, you know, making moves to the upside. But I would probably pick this 15-minute chart, and I would probably say, well, this CCL can move against me all at once. As long as the SPY remains below this 15-minute candle high, as long as it fails to be able to break out past this and close past this and break out past, you know, VWAP, I'm going to stay committed to this trade. And that's what I do oftentimes with trades. And so again, it comes down to taking share size. You know, don't take more than what you're willing to lose. I mean, right now I'm at a stopping point for the day. I don't want to lose more than this. Yesterday was a rough day. The day before was barely break even. I mean, so, you know, I kind of want to maintain where I'm at. So I'm probably not going to do that. And if I were to do that, it would just be on like something really small, like 50 to 100 shares. You know, because I would be fine. And as long as I end over $500, I would risk, you know, the $46 maybe. But again, that's going to be dependent on a lot of things. But Short It All asked, can I ask which time frame your VWAP is set to? I've been playing around with a 2-day VWAP and a 5-day VWAP. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you something, Short It All. And this may make me sound like a newbie, but I was unaware of a 2-day, 5-day. I didn't know. I didn't know about that. That's really the first time ever anybody's mentioned to me a 2-day VWAP, a 5-day VWAP. I come into these charts, I go into my studies, I look here, I see VWAP, I select it. You know, these are the line. This is what it gives me. You know, just what I want it to look like, whatever, and I add 2. I don't know what day it is. I don't know if it's a 2-day, 5-day. Lightspeed Trader does not give those options. As far as I knew, VWAP was a very consistent, just all across the board, very universal trading tool that all traders can look at, that we see the same thing. We basically see the volume weighted average price, what the price of a stock should be during this given time, this given moment in time. Okay? And based upon how far extended over or under it is, we can tell, you know, okay, are we too oversold or overbought over VWAP? Is there an opportunity for it to come back so that other traders coming in can see this as a good price to get back in? Is it oversold? Because if you look at VWAP and you watch it through the last 20 days, you'll see that price constantly circles around VWAP. Price always goes back to VWAP. So I'm kind of interested into where you got that number and where that came from, because as far as I knew, like I said, VWAP is just VWAP and it's universal. I mean, I think maybe on some other charting programs, more sophisticated charting programs, maybe like TradingView, it's possible that I've seen some variances with VWAP, but not here. Not here in Lightspeed. So if that answers your question, I would be curious to know though what you're talking about there. I might have to Google that. But I just use VWAP, whatever that means. Whatever that means, I use VWAP. So So GLBS has had a pretty significant pullback. The sell-off was not nearly as big as the previous 3 volume bars, which tells me that there still could be bullish sentiment on this. I just have to decide right now what I'm willing to risk on a possible trade with this. So, and it's kind of taken off without me. So it's dropped as low as 86 on that pullback. Could come back to test VWAP and these levels here, basically around 79. I don't know if this is I don't know if this is a trade that I want to get in on. So short it all real quick. If you do find something like maybe on Google or something, if there's an article and if you want to just copy and paste it here in the chat, I would love to check that out. I'd be very curious, if nothing else, at least to just have the knowledge and gain a little bit of an understanding about that. And if anybody else listening in can give a little clarification on that. I don't know everything. So that's one thing I really like about this channel. That's one thing I like about, where I'm in agreement with what Sagar said about our community. Sagar made a great point. We've got a good, solid community. And I agreed. And part of the reason for that is because, we've got people here that are actually, it's not like just a bunch of people coming and, just trying to watch my trades and, whatever. I mean, and it's fine if you do that. I mean, don't get me wrong. You are more than welcome to come in here. And some people are just very private and they don't want to they don't want to be in the mix. That's totally fine. But I do appreciate, that we do have people that actually take time to comment and add value to the channel. And I've learned, there's things that I've learned just from having this channel. So again, I don't know everything. I have been trading for several years now. I've, gained a wealth of knowledge in here, and I've formed a very specific strategy based upon the knowledge that I've gained. But the stock market is full of, there's all kinds of things you can do in the stock market. And we know from, options trading to futures, and there's so many different tickers you can get to know and become acquainted with. There's all kinds of technical indicators. Just so many technical indicators out there that you can get acquainted with. So again, I don't know everything, and I am always looking to learn a little bit more, even like I said, whether I use it in my trading or not, even if it's just to have that knowledge, and even if it's not just for me, but in case somebody else comes back in here one day and asks that same question, then maybe I would have an answer for them. So Short It All says, I'm sorry, so there is a VWAP, as you mentioned, which is universal, but you can have a moving volume weighted price average price. So you can select the number of periods you want to track the VWAP. Okay, and then Sauger says generally folks at SMB Capital talk about 2-day VWAP or multi-week VWAP. Okay, do you, Sauger, do you know how they differentiate between the two? And what maybe what yeah, just what the difference is, and which one that they prefer, or you know, any of that information. And Short It All says due to high volatility periods, it can be interesting to see the VWAP variations. Okay. Yeah, I'll bet that can be interesting. You can set the VWAP to a number of periods. Okay. And Short It All says, yes, Sagar, I read it via the book Mike wrote, The Playbook, and was curious on platform I saw I could change my periods. Okay, so yeah, like I said, Short It All. So I have seen VWAP. I've seen variances like that. I've seen variances like that on certain program. I don't know, maybe the DAS Trader program, or maybe it was the Sterling Trader. I've used DAS. I've used Sterling. I'm using Lightspeed right now. I've used well, that's pretty much it. I've gotten acquainted with. I've never really used it, but I've gotten a little acquainted with E-Trade's platform, and then also TD Ameritrade's platform. So I don't remember if I saw variances on those. I think TradingView is a pretty good charting platform. I mean, there's every single technical indicator in the world on TradingView, and you even have people that create their own indicators and they become popular, and other people use them in their charting and that sort of thing. So maybe I saw it there, but I just don't know much about it. So Sagar says they use it for intraday trading for two day. I'm guessing you meant two-day VWAP, and multi VWAP for swing trading. Generally, you need to custom build this. Okay, that's interesting. So is it safe to say that this is something that's more, yeah, 2-day VWAP? Is it safe to say, Sagar, that this is something that's more for swing trading than day trading? Like, is this something that, because again, I personally don't know any day traders that have brought that up. Even some of the more professional, high profile guys that have been doing this for 10, 15, 20 plus years, I have not seen them talk about it. So again, is it safe to say that this is just typically more for like a swing trading strategy? Is that what you're saying there? And if so, I find that to be pretty interesting. I think I'm going to go short there with just 50 shares and see about taking a quick scalp. I might even add to the position, but let's see. Where are we getting down to? 53. So let's see if we can get down to 71. Yeah. Buy back at 71. There we go. So that was a good little scalp there. Hope you guys caught that. Noticed some resistance up here on VWAP, and the SPY was pulling briefly. So I was actually planning on adding. I had taken 50 shares, but then I thought, if this does come up and touch VWAP, I could get in another 50. Man, I should have taken 100 shares on that jump. Sagar says, I think both. Okay. Personally, I only use the daily VWAP, what you have. Multi-week VWAP can be helpful for swing trading. Okay, multi-week VWAP for swing trading. Got you. That's interesting. That's very interesting. I learned something new. I appreciate that, guys. That's great. That's absolutely great. Thank you so much. And Short It All, thank you for that question. That's turned out to be a very good question. So my takeaway is basically, yes, there is a multi-day VWAP strategy that some traders use out there, and Short It All said that basically, due to high volatility periods, it can be interesting to see the VWAP variations. So I'm guessing there's probably been a lot of those variances with what's been going on in the market here lately. But But yeah, so they use intraday trading for 2-day VWAP, and then multi-week VWAP for swing trading. That okay? So this is good. That's good to know. I'm going to try to remember that, even though it's not something obviously that I'll necessarily be using. But I just, I'll tell you what, I'm just such a huge fan of the most universal indicators possible, because and even on different time frames, mind you. So for example, you won't really see me on these 1, 2, 5 minute charts, whatever, or 3 minute charts. Some people use 3 minute charts. You won't ever see me with the 50-day, 100-day, or 200-day moving averages, because they just don't matter as much. They just don't matter as much. I'm not saying that you shouldn't check sometimes, because I guess they can. It can show you like what the range is, what the room is. But I really don't use them. And by the way, the 50, the 100, and the 200 are simple moving averages, whereas the 20 and the 9 that I have up here are the more universally used exponential moving averages on intraday charts, typically dealing with lower time frames, like the 1 minute, the 2 minute, the 5 minute charts. So that's why I'm willing to have those up here. Sometimes I still clear them out just to clean the chart, so I can pay attention to what's just going on with just levels of support, resistance, volume, price action, and VWAP. Okay, but a lot of times I'll keep them on. But when it gets to 15-minute charts, I mean, you'll pretty much just see me with VWAP. And then daily charts, I will check the 20 and the 9 exponential moving averages on occasion, but that's usually when I'm dealing with like low float small cap stocks, because there's a lot of traders that are just consistently keeping these up on their radar, and they're the EMAs, because they're using it for their intraday charting on the lower time frames. But on the daily charts, I really don't ever use anything more than the 50, the 100, and the 200 simple moving average. And so, but these are universal. These are, going back to the universal factor, these are the more universally paid attention to moving averages on daily charts. So that's what I use. I want to know universally what most traders are thinking. And with good reason, because obviously that's how you get these quote unquote, self-fulfilling prophecies. You get them because this is what traders around the world are looking at. This is what everybody's looking at, and everybody has a basic understanding universally of what this VWAP means, and of what these indicators mean on these different time frames. And that's just what I've found to be the best, to create the best scenario. Now, sometimes I will pay attention to, here on the 5-minute chart, I'll pull up the 15-minute, and I will think to myself, I will take note of this, because there are some people looking at the 15-minute that, again, it's still technically an intraday chart. This is still an intraday chart, the 30-minute, the hour. So I will sometimes take these indicators into consideration, but only mostly on the 5, 2, and 1-minute charts. So anyway, that's another reason I don't mess as much with the Bollinger Bands, or, like Bollinger Bands can be good. They expand, they contract, they can be good, but again, you don't have, yes, there are a bunch of traders out there that look at that, but it's not as universal. The price action, in my opinion, is not going to be, plus it's a lagging indicator, by the way. It just doesn't seem like it's as true. Like, I've done a lot of trading, guys. I've spent hours and hours and hours from sun up to sundown, pre-market to post-market, in the stock market for days, weeks, months on end. Okay? And I can just tell you, this is even why I tell people, like on the 1-minute chart, the 20 EMA means so much more on the 1-minute chart than it means on the 5-minute chart. It's not always the case, but it just seems to mean so much more. You get a breakthrough on that 1-minute, and if it closes above that 20 EMA, you're going to have much more likelihood of momentum to the upside. You can just see. It really respects that 20 EMA. Now, obviously, you have moments of breakthrough, like here, okay, but it's not the breakthroughs. We talk about confirmations here. It's not the breakthroughs we're worried about. It's where the candle confirms, okay? But and I find that the 2 minute and the 5 minute charts, 2 minutes are really a variance of both. But I really find with the 2 minute and the 5 minute chart, the 9 EMA seems to be the most universally respected. Again, this isn't always, and maybe some of this charting isn't always the best example just because we are in some very finicky market conditions right now. Things are very different right now. We're experiencing some historical moments in the world, in the stock market world. So so things are going to be a little wonky here for a few days, maybe a few weeks until we really get our bearings. And then, of course, I think, just because they're so unpredictable right now. So, but universally, most of the time, these are the indicators that I really like to stick to. Strangers Consortium says, never heard of VWAP before this channel, but ever since it saved me a lot of trouble. Good. That's really good, strangers. I'm glad that it has saved you trouble. That's it has saved me a lot of trouble too. I can honestly say it has saved me a lot of trouble as well. I think I might take another scout. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get in there with 51, 25 shares. And then, let's see, take it at 80 or 91 maybe? Can we get up to 91? Yeah, we should easily be able to get up to 91. So another 25 shares there. SPY seems like it's still kind of finding momentum to the downside. So we're going to build a position with just 25 shares. We're just going to scalp a little more off the top today. And as long as the SPY cracks down through those levels, we should be good to scalp a little bit more, push us up maybe to the 570s. So trying to bring the average up here. Come on. Let's get up to 90. Can we get up to 90? Ah. Okay, I'm going to try to take it at 81. Then we'll have a 50 share average at 67, I think. There we go. Oh, there we go, 66. So we got a 50 average at 66. That's good. And yeah, let's see if we can get in another 31, 21 average. Just want to make sure that the SPY is going to continue failing. We could possibly get a move down here to 30. That would be good. Although I'd probably take it in the 30-20s. As a matter of fact, let's see if we could. So if we crack 30-37, yeah, I think we could get 25 out. We'd take the first 25 at 30.41 just to get a little on those shares there. And then we would take the next at 30.11. $43. No, I don't want to take it at 41 actually. Let me change that. 30.31. I think it could go lower than that. So let's see if we can do that. Man, SPY's moving. It got bought up. Let's see if we can get a crack down to 31. SPY's got to keep pushing. Come on. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and come out at 45 and take 31 off. There we go. Just because I didn't know if that was going to spies. There we go. So we might actually be able to get a break of 30. Let's do 30.01 on those last 25. That should push us up to close enough to 600 today, and that would be good. We've got a 30.81 average, so as long as the SPY keeps pulling, SPY's pulling pretty good. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. This is a trick I do sometimes. So we're going to do 29.81. We'll get the full $25, but if it comes down to 30 and does not crush through it, I'll take it at 30.01. I'll hit my hotkey to exit out, and I'll hit 30.01. SPY's pulling. Should continue to pull RCL down. SPY's continuing to pull. I'm kind of calling the bluff here. I should add, but SPY can snap back pretty hard sometimes, so I don't know that I want to risk it. If this breaks over 50, I want to get out. SPY's pulling back a little. I'll give it time. I'll give SPY time to pull. It's a pretty major sell off there, so I'm not buying it though. SPY's so weak. So weak. I'll set it to break even. So if it breaks through 70, we'll say. I will do a stop. We'll say 69 if it triggers 69. Stop buy. I don't want it to go against me. And I'll take 29.81 off the table, and this may just be one of those times where I just lower my stop. SPY should continue pulling pretty hard, so I don't, I think this should break through here. This could even break this level here. I mean, I'll just gradually lower my position, and I might even add into it. So, and guys, it's 11:30, so after this move, I'm going to go ahead and get out. I'm just going to be done for the day. I'll record my recap and look forward to seeing you guys next week. SPY's pulling hard, though. SPY's pulling hard. Really has an effect on these types of stocks here. So, yeah, I might even do. Might even take 15. This is where you get really crazy with it. 15 at 29.81, right? Let's see, where are we at here? It's 57. So I'll say 29.77. And then we'll take the last 10. If it can break those levels, yeah, we'll look to take the last 10. But we got to break 30 first, and RCL's having a hard time. And I can understand. I mean, the SPY's pulling hard. This should technically be going, but I get it. You're sitting at a really good whole dollar mark. So, and I'm going to move my stop back down to, what's this candle's high? 30.55. So let's see, 30. Stop out at 30.50. If this comes back now, I'll even want to take it at 29.41. Break of 29.40. So stop. Buy at 29.40. Oh no! What did I just do? Oops! I should have double checked. It was 30.40. Dang it! 30.40. Matt. All right, guys. Well, there you go. That's how we're gonna end it. We're gonna end it with a hotkey mistake. Up 587.99. Probably, realistically, up maybe 5.30 on the day. So, good move. Good move. I'm satisfied with it, guys. I wish yesterday didn't happen, because I would be ending the week up like, probably $1,400 right now, $1,500 as it is. I'm probably only ending the week up $500. So, nonetheless, it's a decent week. I'll take it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the live stream today. I tried to touch on a lot of different areas, and hopefully questions were answered. And I know that some of my questions were answered. You guys taught me something new with the VWAP and the 2-day VWAP and the different daily VWAPs and all that stuff. So I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that. And yeah, it was good. It was good. If you guys enjoyed it, give your boy a thumbs up. Give your boy a quick thumbs up. And like the channel. Feel free to tell some other people about it. I feel like we had some new guys come in today. So Short It All, it was nice to meet you. Thanks for coming in, Yoni B. Nice to meet you too. Thanks for coming in. Work Diver came in. Not sure if you're still here, but and then we had some of the usual suspects. Sauger, Flip Flop, good to see you guys. Strangers Consortium, good to see you again today. So Short It All already did. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. Already did what? I must have said something in all of my yapping, and I don't even remember what I said. But it would be interesting. Already did what? Tell me what you did. And you have a great weekend too. Thank you. Flip Flop, sorry I haven't participated in chat much. Been distracted by a repair guy at my house. Hey, no worries, man. Hey, you got to take care of the home front, man. Got to take care of the home front. You have a good weekend too, Flip. You liked the video? Oh, thanks, Short. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you taking time to like the video. And yeah, Sauger, good to see you too, man. And yeah, guys, I'm looking forward to next week. Hopefully next week will be better. Hopefully next week will, I won't botch it like I did this week. Overall, it's pretty good. I mean, I try not to be hard on myself. I try not to beat myself up too much. Again, it's just the whole thing about having a channel now and like trying to be like a good leader, a good instructor. I kick myself harder when I don't follow my rules and I don't really stick to the strategy. I just kick myself harder. But on the bright side, again, this was almost a $600 day, and again, we had a 500 and some on Monday, 400 and some on Tuesday. Wednesday, basically break even, a little under after commissions. But yesterday was really the only bad day. And, there's nothing more to say about it. But I do want to lead by example. I know I'm here to teach a strategy. And really, there should be greater accountability for this. I should have even greater accountability in light of trying to prove this strategy. And it really does give me greater accountability. So, anyway, guys, glad we were able to have a good day today. And it sounds like some of you guys had a pretty good day and a pretty good week yourselves. So good job, Sauger. You've basically being green just about every day this month so far. I think you said you only had one red day. So kudos to you, man. Keep up the great work, and the rest of you guys as well. So Work Diver, you're welcome. And glad you were able to come in the chat today too. Guys, have a great weekend. I will try to post another video of the trader's mind this weekend. I don't know if I'm going to get to it, but I'll do my best. I'll do my best. And yeah. So anyway, have a great weekend, guys. I'll see you next week. Take care.